Hi everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Connection. I'm your host, Dänna Wilberg. Well, it's a new year and the planets are aligned just so. And here to tell us what to expect in 2016 is one of my favorite astrologers, Barbara Ybarra. It's so good to have you back on the show.
Yes, thank you. I'm really thrilled to be here with you, honest.
You're always so informative. And I know you have a lot to share with us, but before we jump into what's happening for the year, tell us about yourself.
Well, I am just now, at this age, building myself a website. So my energy will be out there a little more than it ever has before. I eased my way into astrology starting probably around the age of 13. So it's been a long, long journey, of which is, something very, very close to my heart. And I'm not huge, I'm not famous, right? But I am working on a book now, and I think what I have in it is important to the world of astrology. So we'll see.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to that because I will be one of your very first readers.
Thank you so much, Donna.
Yeah, because, I know you have been very informative as far as my career has been. And, people say, want to know who a good astrologer is. Call Barbara.
Awesome.
Barbara. Okay, so tell us, what kind of shenanigans are going on this year?
Oh, well, if we don't get too metaphysical, right, there will be quite a bit of tension, I think, in the world, obviously. Anybody who follows the news and the politics is seeing that already. But the astrology concurs. So what we astrologers do, rather than taking a look at where the planets are at New Year's, we do seasonal kinds of pictures. It's like taking a snapshot right when we have a winter solstice or a spring equinox, and that gives us a picture of the quarter of the year. And also we have other things that we do. So this year is going to be tense, and I think it is going to be a financial issue for the United States. So there's several ways of looking at that, and every one of them says that people are going to feel it. And it's going to be almost like a stalemate kind of a thing. So there's going to be actually, here's us and here's the world, if you want to look at it that way, as a spectrum and axis. And we're going to feel the pinch financially as a whole United States. And then there's nothing we can do about it, because all we have to do is hold fast and keep it steady throughout the year. So there's a lot of talk going to be going on, a lot of talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the stock market's been fluctuating like crazy lately. So is that going to have anything to do with it, or is it just...
Right.
Okay.
It is. And there will be people who will panic and tell you need to buy gold, gold bars, things like that. But the real message is to hold steady and just keep waiting, because it's the only thing we can do right now. Even with all the arguments, even with all the things you hear, it's almost like just hold your breath and wait, because it's not that bad yet, anyway. So, yeah. And but also there is some things going on that will occur in the United States that have to do with leaking information, and we've gone through that before. But there will be a big panic about that, right? And that will come maybe in March, and then June, especially June. June is going to be, I think, wait and see, but there will be some event in June that's going to suggest not only information leaks, but also pressure regarding immigration. I don't know why the two go hand in hand, but they do, because of so much population issues, like where are all these people going to go who want out of the region that they're in? And this also has to do with just energy building up that is frustration, And so, of course, terrorist events that are going to start looking electronic, where, we're going to get pinged here, there, and different places with finances.
If I can interrupt, how much does the Planet X have to do with... Or was that, did
number
I jump ahead of
9?
myself?
Planet number 9?
Planet 9, yes.
I think that's that's like a little tweak that astrologers would not, that's very meta, that's meta woo-woo, that one. It's there, but that is on such the fringe of what astrologers normally do, that's into the realm probably of, oh, why now? Why are we seeing this now? And there's a lot of energy regarding into the world kind of stuff. And that's actually more real than you think, in terms of how far are we going to change. But at this point, when we talk about it, it gets into such fantastic ideas that it becomes crazy. We forget about it in the morning, and just go back to living naturally as best we can.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, there's some strange things, but there's a lot of things going on this year. Elections, right? And that's big, and that's all part of what may happen next. There's a lot of astrologers who are looking at every single chart of the candidates, right? And the problem with that is that it's just like looking at Peyton Manning and Camden Newton, who are the two quarterbacks of the two teams in the Super Bowl. And you can do this astrologically. You can look and see who's going to be the most empowered, who's going to win. But the problem is they both are very, very empowered. And the same with most of the candidates, most of them. I mean, I just looked at Rubio the other day, finally.
Yeah. There's
nothing there. I mean, I'm sorry, but there's, astrologically, there's not enough oomph there. He's not in the race.
That's
Trump,
interesting. You don't think of things like that, but that's true, because when somebody's on their path, they're on their path.
And you know that.
Yes.
Your chart is very, very powerful. And ask me later, there's some things coming up in your chart. And you're not done. You're not done this year. You're not going to relax this year.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to pinpoint down to, yes, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. But when you look at it, when there's energy, when there's big power there. And Trump is one of the ones that no astrologer has the eye off of his chart, because it's huge. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Even from his birth, it's like, and yeah, he's made a lot of money. He's big business in the world, but there's something else, and he's not going to give up.
Yeah. That's kind of, I was watching him the other night, and I don't normally because I don't.
Right. Yeah. But he's,
but
soon as you turn the TV on, he's there.
Right, but at the same time, you do feel something. He's very strategic. He really knows what he's doing, and he knows how to get his way. It's just, he's very good at it. So that really plays a part into, all of this. And I'm sure that shows up, the kind of stuff that shows up in his chart as well, right?
Oh, there's no way he is not going to be a world figure. And some people can argue, well, he already is, and he can just go back to doing what he's going to do. But when you get down to the fine measurements, it's there all the way through the election, and boom, right on January 20th, 2017, when the inauguration happens. And my mentor and astrology teacher, Noel Till, who I just love, he's like this. He calls it the bells. He says there's a big bell, and we know exactly what that is in astrology. You have to have the big bell for the timing of it. Like, here's your big bell, and then you've got another bell, and then all these other little bells ring in resonance to us. And when that happens, you've got your prize. If you're going after it, you look to see down the line if you've got every little bell. And here's Trump, and when you do all the measurements, here's January 20th, 2017, and there's this little ding, right on the day. And it's very powerful. And so, many astrologers are Democrats. Apparently, they claim, that 90% of us are Democrats. So they passionately don't want that to happen. And even people who are, not Democrats, like I'm pretty middle of the road, the force, the power, the rashness that he has scares me a little, So I too, when I see that, I go, oh, and then I look at the rest of the year and I go, oh, You know? So don't be surprised.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Who else you got there for us?
The 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, and the Super Bowl itself, which to me is a lot of people want to have fun that day, right? I mean, there are people that don't do the Super Bowl, right? But people who make food, you know, any of that, you know, get together with friends. And the day for most people is going to be fun and exciting. And of course, we have it in the Bay Area here in California this year. The only thing I'm concerned, there's a couple things I'm concerned about, but one is that there is a lot of energy present in the aspects of the planets that is combative. So of course, perfect for football, not so much for the fans, right? Because, and it's kind of combativeness that is not like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, you're over there, I'm over here, we're gonna fight, and this is gonna be real fun. But it's the kind that you carry inside.
Yeah.
So what I'm worried about is like people getting so emotional, you know, that there are fights in the stands or fights afterwards in the parking lot, that sort of thing, you know. Where
That kind of
people,
goes without saying, doesn't it? Though?
I guess it happens
Yeah.
anyway, right?
Yeah,
It's
it
going to
does.
happen, but I don't like to hear
Yeah.
about it. And having it be in California, I would like it to be, you
Be
know,
nice.
really-
Yeah, everybody
yeah,
play
nice.
nice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
Unfortunately, you know what? The show's not going to air until after the Super Bowl is over. So what you're talking
Is that
about
true?
is, huh?
that's true. It's not live.
I know
don't
it's
know.
not live, but let's talk
don't
about it
know.
anyway because
Okay.
it's going to be in retrospect, which kind of validates everything.
Oh, okay. There's a band that plays at halftime, Coldplay. Now, when I heard that, I thought, well, you know, it's not like, are they big stars? And then I read that they were asking Beyonce to come and be up there with them. And so I looked at her chart, and she fits right in with the energy of the day. You know, so this is like a perfect artistic balance that just, you know, it buoys up people's, you know, happy spirits. So this is a
Yeah.
perfect halftime thing if she's there. I'm not sure if she's going to be there,
Yeah,
but
Coldplay's kind of sedate.
yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean,
they're
I
like
love
a
them.
rock-
I love
yeah,
them, but they're not, you know.
they're
I
not
mean,
the big stars,
no.
right? So
well, they are
they
big
would need to have-
stars. They are big stars, but their music is very sedate and very kind of spiritual. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's easy listening.
Right. You want big. You want
Right.
big for Super Bowl.
Beyonce's
You want
big.
sexy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You want
Yeah.
the whole big shebang. So if she does, it's going to really mellow out any fans that are already waiting to riot, right? So that's good. Now, as far as who's going to win, that was very interesting when I look at it. And I said to my husband, because I don't know all that much about, especially Camden, and I said, you know, this is going to sound exactly like I just looked it up online. You know, I said, but this is just what the astrology says. And what is happening is that Cam is pushing and pushing and pushing himself physically. I mean, like right now, all the way up until, you know, he gets out there, right? And he will on that day. The thing, and so it's all physical. It's all like, I can push myself. The problem is, the danger is for him is that he could get hurt. I mean, badly. He can push himself
wow.
so hard that, you know, here comes somebody, and instead of, you know, running off the edge, you got the tackle, the big tackle, you know, which shouldn't happen anyway for the poor quarterback, right? You don't want
Yeah.
him smashed to bits, right? That's what he has to be aware of. And then on the other hand, Peyton, he's doing just the opposite. He's physical, but he's got years of experience, and what he's going to rely on is partly his fans. He's going to be feeling that love. He's going to depend on that. He's going to be feeling it from the crowd. And then on top of that, he has a skill set. He has an amazing skill set because over time, his problem will be overthinking it, thinking he can do this by strategy and not physical brute, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks aren't supposed to be the big brutes, but what do we know? We never tried to run down a field in football, with, you know, right?
Yeah.
So if I was going to pick a winner, I'd have to say if Cam doesn't get crunched, then he'll win, but it could happen. You know, he could put himself in a position where he can't go anymore.
Yeah.
for whatever that reason is. But it's fun. It's a fun day. It's supposed to be for fun.
Yeah, it is
right?
supposed to be for fun.
I love the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all about the hot wings. Over 1 billion hot wings will be eaten that day.
Right.
Okay, so what's next, Barbara?
Okay, Pope Francis, who has become a big celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to end. I mean, his status, he'll be in the news still again. And I think also possibly the Vatican itself will have a big trauma this year. And I want to say starting in March. So the issue with Pope Francis, and I'll hold up this chart if the camera wants to zoom in on it. He has this line straight across. I don't know what camera we're looking at, but straight across. Okay, straight across the chart. This is where in any of our charts, the day we were born, this is where the sun comes up, and over here is where it goes down. So that's like the horizon, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's. I know it's backwards, but this is the way astrology looks, you know. But this is like the east. This is where the sun comes up. So this is the point at which, you know, and then this is where it goes down. Well, anytime we have a planet over here where the sun goes down, the sun going down place is where we blend with other. If we're going to blend, or if we're going to argue with them, you know, this is the other person. There's ourselves and there's the whole world. This planet he has setting very, very close here is Mercury. Now, the Mercury is the mind, it's how you think. Anybody, and I know this very well because one of my sons has Mercury, not in the same sign, but Mercury going down on the far horizon, you tend to want to let your mind flow with a whole bunch of people somewhere out there. You want to be almost like the spirit of a group. You know, I mean, it can't be everybody because, you know, you have all these different opposing things. And Pope Francis has done that, and he's switched a few times in his life. He right now is the love of people with big hearts, you know, because they say, okay, Pope Francis is making a lot of difference because he's encouraging people to be compassionate. He's encouraging people to share. He's encouraging people to open up their hearts. And it could very well have been the opposite. If he had thought we need to buckle, you know, tighten our belts and do the right thing no matter what anybody says, he'd have gone with that. This is a person who is in danger often of having a flip-flop mental profile, mental approach. He's chosen for, you know, the duration of his popehood, you know, to go with the liberal open view. But he's getting flack. He's getting big flack from big people in the Vatican. A lot. And he's going to hear from them because the Vatican is going to have a big problem with that this year, I think. That's what it looks like to me. And it has to do with almost the land itself there in Italy, whether or not that land belongs to the Catholic Church. Big stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. So you know, astrologers might sit around and discuss exactly how that's going to play out, but he is heading for some big challenges to who he is, to how he's going to hold that office and continue to have so many other powerful figures in the Vatican allow him to do that. So I think this year we'll see that.
I'm going to have to pay more attention.
Yeah. But he said a lot of things that, you know, people question, are you sure you mean that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You know, I just, you know, he doesn't quite say what he's saying. So, yeah, if you pay attention to that, you might, yeah.
So what do you think, what kind of effect is that going to have on the religion itself? Do you think it's going to kind of...
It already has.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, I would guess that about half of the Catholic Church is hating what he's talking about and trying to do, and the other half is like, go, you know. So there is made a division, a split, yeah.
Huh.
And I guess the whole idea is maybe to open the whole thing up. Yeah. You know, and his idea is maybe, you know, we're all kind of, all religions are good. You know, that's probably what Pope Francis would want to say. You know, I think he kissed the Quran or something. I don't know. Which is fine, but, you know, not with some Catholics.
Yeah. Okay,
So.
who's next?
Well,
who's in the hot seat next?
I do have celebrity.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston.
Really?
Yeah.
What's going on?
The last
with
time
her?
I was here, I talked about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. And I don't know, I think to me, maybe they are one of my favorites. And I'm sorry, Jennifer, but here was Brad Pitt, right? And he was with Jennifer Aniston, and then along comes Angelina Jolie, and she's bigger, you know.
Yeah.
And to me, I didn't bring Brad Pitt's chart, but to me, he is a person who, he had to work hard to get where he is in Hollywood. I mean, he came from Oklahoma. His dad was he owned a trucking business or something. So he didn't come from Hollywood people.
Right.
He had to work at this. And I think a lot of his life is just being a star. I mean, that I'm not saying he's a small person, but we don't even know what it's like to be in that kind of position. But he really wants to attack. There's some things in his chart that show he wants to have a partner that's going to help him. You know, so he had Jennifer, and she was quite notable in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
And really cute, you know, and so he had her on his, arm, and then something went wrong. He either met Jolie, and she's a bigger personality, or something else was going on in their marriage, you know, that didn't work with Jennifer. So, I mean, it's a huge story.
I would leave my husband for Jennifer. I mean, for Angelina Jolie. She's just, I don't know, there's something about her.
She's amazing. She's
gorgeous.
fantastic.
She's just, yes, there's
big,
more
big
to
personality.
her.
Right. And there's a lot of deep stuff in her as well. Yeah.
But I heard they're breaking up.
Oh, I wouldn't count on that.
Really? That's what the
you see the tabloids. Every once in a while you see that coming out. But I wouldn't count on that.
Okay,
no,
good.
I don't.
Good.
Yeah, I think they're not done.
Okay.
But little Jennifer, so she marries this guy named Justin Theroux. Well, what happened to her big wedding? I mean, what she did was her fiance, this Justin person, and herself, they threw a party in their backyard and said it's a birthday party for somebody. I don't know who. Oh, for him, I think. Yeah, a late birthday party for him or an early one. And didn't tell them it was a wedding. Surprised them with it at the last minute, and it didn't work. I mean, it was kind of really, a wedding? Okay, go ahead and get up there and get married.
Yeah.
That's why? Awkward. What happened to the prelude? What happened to all of that? So she gypped herself. But why? And I look at what is going on with the date that she married, and it was like. Why did you even choose that date, let alone, get married like haphazardly like that? Because there's some kind of Saturn. We don't necessarily in a wedding, Saturn needs to hide.
Okay.
I mean, you want to put it in a position that is not anywhere near Venus, which is the beauty and well, she didn't do that. And I mean, it's there clear as day. There's a problem with it. So what it looks to me like when I add it all up is that she's basically saying, okay, I'll get married as long as the money keeps coming, and they bought a house together and stuff, then I have a nice place to live, and he's a very nice looking guy, and he's got, a lot of foothold in the industry in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So, but there may not be enough there besides that, and
man.
I just thought it was a little sad because to me, she always looks just a little too needy. And I think maybe she's still, feeling bad that Angelina Jolie got Brad Pitt, and
I'd feel bad too. But you know what? We're almost out of time.
Right.
So, could you please give your information so everybody knows how to contact you?
Right. I am just now building my website. If you go to it, there's nothing there but my name, and it says under construction. But I'll give it out anyway because it won't be long. So it is Moon Bear, Moon, and then BEAR, astrology. And that's because I have a big connection with bears. It's one of my totems, so that's the name of it. And I have an email, and someone could email me at earthsigns, EARTHSIGNS, at rocketmail.com.
Great.
And and I do readings. So
You do fantastic readings.
Oh,
awesome readings.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, well, we need to get to some information about the Paranormal Connection.
All right.
The Paranormal Connection airs the first and third Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our companion show, Story Connection, airs the second and fourth Thursdays of each month. Each episode repeats the following Friday at 1:30 p.m. and Saturday at 5:30 a.m. Watch these programs online at the same air times by going to accesssacramento.org and clicking Watch 17. In the Sacramento region, you can see us on Comcast Channel 17 and on AT&T Channel 99. You can find previously aired shows on the Paranormal Connection YouTube channel. For information on upcoming shows and previous Paranormal Connection guests, go to paranormalconnectiontv.blogspot.com. You can contact us at paranormalconnectiontv@gmail.com. And don't forget, find us on Facebook, become a friend, and become a fan.
Okay, so we've only got a minute. Are we gonna snap out of this? Is this just a year thing? We're gonna just go through all these changes and stuff, and things are gonna be different in 2017?
No. No, it'll just be keep getting more and more exciting. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's
just
some big
like
stuff.
Life's one big story, right?
Yep.
There we go. Okay, well, we've only got a minute, 30 seconds left. I want to thank my illustrious crew, Laura, Ted, Lorene, Rick, David, and Don. You guys are the best ever. And please look for my novels on dannawilberg.com, other information about me. And I want to thank everybody for watching. And thank you, Barbara, so much for all your wonderful information.
Oh,
so
thank
good
you,
to
Donna.
see you. Okay.
I love being here.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.